We believe that videos, images, words, and sounds have the absolute power to inform, inspire, and entertain. We are united under the virtues of safety and knowledge. We are a training community of learners and teachers who encourage and energize each other to achieve greatness. We are pilots, videographers, photographers, freelancers, business owners, enthusiasts, experts, and apprentices. We are creators. We are the Drone U.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another awesome episode of Ask Drone U. My name is Paul.
And I'm Rob, and you're listening to episode number 291. As always, we thank you for spending a few minutes of your day with us.
Absolutely we do, and we love those questions. If you have a drone question, go to askdroneu.com and upload that question, or check us out on Instagram, check us out on facebook.com/droneu, or hate us on Twitter, twitter.com/thedroneu.
Says Paul, the Twitter hater.
I am the Twitter hater. But you know there are markets for every group,
Yep.
and I know that there is a unique Twitter market. Not my favorite market, not in my eyes.
That's what's cool about social media is if you don't like one, don't use it. So
yeah,
a little
that's
bit
true.
of something for
That's
everybody.
True. That is very true, and it comes in today's question regarding data transfers and transferring your data to an online server. That way people have access to it and can collaborate with you. If you are outsourcing your work, this is a very fundamental piece of your workflow, and you know it can cause difficulties. I will say I have been where this question asker has been, with slow internet, an unfeasible solution, and wondering, what the hell do I do?
And having downloaded literally probably hundreds, if not thousands of gigs of data,
yes.
right?
Yeah. Last year alone, I used 10 terabytes.
There you go.
So, I mean, it's a lot. In fact, I still have a lot of that footage. It's funny, I like to store my footage for, random reasons.
Sure.
It's the only documentation I store for more than a year.
I have to say, I'm impressed with your ability to dive into your file system on your computer and find a video or something that you're looking for pretty quickly.
I don't think it's pretty quick, but thank you. I appreciate that.
I think it's very quick.
I wonder what John thinks.
How do you know where that is? Anyways, side note.
So actually, if you want to know, I use drives chronologically. So I know which drive I use based on which part of the year it was.
Got it.
So, and that's the only way that I can really remember where stuff is, because I think about, I want that shot from Lake Powell before they implemented the National Park Service. Okay, that was 2013. Okay, it was this time. Okay, I need to go to this drive.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting point before we get into the question, because the way that you organize your filing system of all this stuff is as important as the speeds that you're going to be downloading.
Totally. And this is also another really important point too, because if you're a drone pilot and you want to sell all of that footage as just stock footage, where do you put it all? What do you do with it? So it's actually something that I'm going to be doing here soon, is uploading a lot of my footage to different stock websites, testing them out, and giving our members kind of an idea of, okay, if you want to make an extra couple $100 a month, here's the best place to do it. Here's how to do it.
Yeah.
What works, what doesn't. So.
Right. Yeah, because there are a lot of options. I think we underestimate the number of options there are for that, just like anything nowadays.
Well, yeah, everyone's like, you've got Shutterstock, you've got Getty Images. A lot of people don't know about Fotilla. It's an Italian company, a European-based stock collection.
Right.
There's Film Supply, there's AirStock, there's a lot of stuff.
Exactly.
So we're trying to create that system for people to say, use this, don't use this, don't use this.
Absolutely.
And I'm not a fan of Getty, just to throw that out there. But there are some that I like. I love Fotilla, and I love Film Supply. So I want to know how we can get the most money and for the best quality stuff.
That's fair. I think everybody would be on board with that.
Yeah, I agree.
So we have a question.
Let's get into it. Today's question is presented by Rob's Bald Head and this select sponsor. Are you a drone pilot? Are you operating under a Section 333 exemption? Then you may be familiar with Item 27, which requires you to get a property release for every flight over property.
Legal Flyer is an app for iPhone and iPad that helps you create professional property releases in less time than it takes to do a pre-flight check.
You can add your pilot info, you can sign in, hand it to the property owner for their signature. But wait a second. Legal Flyer's advanced integration automatically adds latitude, longitude, and even altitude.
Then add a panorama straight from the app. Everything drops into a single-page PDF you can share with a single tap. It's compliance at light speed. Visit LegalFlyer.com for more information or get it straight from the App Store. Legal Flyer. Property releases for professional drone pilots.
This is Todd, your faithful minion in Houston. I've recently started to edit footage that I shot with my Phantom Professional 3 and have decided to farm that out using Fiverr. The problem is 30 or 40 minutes is 6 gigs. And it takes a really long time to upload that to my G drive and then send a link to someone so they can then download it. On Fiverr, I'm paying someone $25 for a 5-minute reel, and then I also hired someone in Houston who's charging me $150. I'm going to compare the two and see what I get. Any suggestions on how to upload or where you upload or how you get your files to the editors?
Well, number one, I just have to say, Paul,
Yes.
I have always wanted a faithful minion.
I wonder if he wears a yellow suit around.
I hope so.
If he
Otherwise,
did,
it doesn't count.
If he did, if you show me a picture of you in a Minion suit, I may or may not give you a free year membership. Everyone loves Minions. How could you not? I mean,
No, that's cool. I appreciate that. And I would also say that he's making a good decision in general, I think, to start farming out his editing.
Yes, I will say this: $25. What? Dirt cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, wow, that's beyond dirt cheap. A good editor. So I just want to touch on this before we get into data. A good editor, you can expect to pay $25 to $100 an hour.
Right.
Anywhere in between. $150 for 5 minutes. Interested to see how that turns out. There are some really good editors on Upwork and on Fiverr that charge about $10 an hour. And Fiverr, it's a package deal, so they'll be like, well, I'll put this in there and this in there, and you break
Right.
down the project price. That's kind of what it comes out to. But guys, understand that outsourcing and editing is definitely something you can save money on. Communication is so key.
Right.
And I think when you're dealing with outsourcing, you've got to make sure that your ideas are understood visually. If you like a certain style, you like a certain video, you like a certain clip, make sure you send that as a piece of your stuff to say, hey, I like this type of color, I like this type of editing, I like this type of jump cutting, I like this type of titles. So that is my 2 cents. So I think you're getting a steal on editing.
Now, of course, he's going to see what the quality comes back like. And I like the idea that he's comparing a couple of different options.
Yeah, very
one a
smart.
little bit more expensive. That's a great way to kind of get into this outsourcing stuff.
So what do we normally pay for a 4-minute video for editing?
Oh,
Numbers
man,
guy?
for a 4-minute video.
I mean, think about the surf stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got 4 examples of that from last year.
So we're talking about really high-level stuff, right? And so we'll just kind of make that
It's
known up
extreme
front.
sports, so people are hypercritical.
Yeah, hypercritical, and our use for this is very broad and wide, and it's really important that we show well. And I know that's true for you, Todd, and it's true for everybody, but just kind of putting that out there. For a 4-minute video, I mean, I think we're probably talking $300 to $500,
Yeah.
somewhere
Sounds
in that
about right.
range.
We've also had some 3 to 5 minute videos that have been $1,500.
And then we had a conversation with.
Anyway.
That was a bit much, but there are reasons for that, and we've learned, and a lot of this is having systems in place, and like Paul talks about, communication, expectations, but having those systems in place up front is really, really important to that.
Super crucial.
Having an efficient workflow.
Super, super crucial. That being said, let's talk about some data. I will say this, 6 gigs for 40 minutes of footage is very low.
So does that mean that the quality that he's filming at isn't as high as it could be? Or
Meaning
how
the resolution?
The resolution, yeah.
Yes, that could definitely be it.
Okay.
He could also, he could have flown for 30 or 40 minutes and only filmed for 10. Because
Sure.
that's the beauty of the DJI stuff, is that you can click record and stop recording right when you want.
Right.
It's not like, 2 years ago with the GoPro, you would turn the GoPro on, take off, do your thing, come back down, have 9 files,
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, there is that benefit. I've been in this position, and I looked through a lot of different things. There are a lot of different options, from Dropbox to
Box,
FileZilla.
to Google Drive. And frankly, if you Google this question, there's a long laundry list of different options.
So we're going to tell you what we use, and I'm going to tell you an enterprise level of what you could use, because it's what we're moving to, and I think that it's the best option, period. Number one is you've got to have legit internet. If you're
Right.
using DSL, like here on the West Coast, there's Cox Internet, there's Comcast Internet, there's satellite internet, and there's, what is it, CenturyLink is the other one?
CenturyLink is what we have here, yeah. Well, in addition to Comcast, we have both.
So CenturyLink is a DSL style of data transfer, whereas Comcast is more of a fiber type of transfer system. Fiber is a lot faster. You're going to get faster upload speeds. You're going to get faster download speeds. Your download speed does not matter when it comes to uploading footage. It's your upload speed. This was actually a very real problem at DroneU. We used to have, 25 down and 3 or 4 up. And now we have 110 down and 35 up. So that makes a significant difference.
It does.
There is we do use Dropbox to this day. We do not use the business Dropbox, though. We all have personal accounts that we collaborate on, because spending $200 a year or a month or whatever it is ridiculous, especially when Google Drive is offering, 2 terabytes for, I think it's last time I checked, it was like $75 a year. That being said, I am not a fan of Google Drive. You may get a lot of space, but the bandwidth that they allocate to that service is crap.
Frankly, it's like most Google products. They go really, really wide and have some cool stuff, but they just don't go deep in terms of the quality of their products.
Yeah. Well, except I will say, though, that their email is the best. Tim keeps trying to get me to switch over to DroneU email. It ain't happening. I'm just saying.
Cool. No, we've used Gmail. That's true. There's a couple things, obviously. Search, they do pretty well.
Well, yeah, not only that, but organization. And also you can use plugins like Streak for CRM. You can use Boomerang.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to send an email, like, Rob is leaving the office at 4 o'clock on a Friday and you don't really want him to address a problem that's probably a problem that you're a little embarrassed about, I'm going to send that email as a Boomerang and schedule it for 4:30. That's all I'm saying. So, there are benefits to Boomerang.
Is there something I need to know about, Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, so I love Gmail service for that reason. The other services like FileZilla, John, our producer, has talked about FileZilla. I do not have experience with it. I will also say this. I do not use the Dropbox app. I don't like the Dropbox app. It is a personal decision.
Mm-hmm.
It's personal. It's in my opinion. You can use it, do whatever you want. I just don't like it.
So it makes things a little bit more tedious for you in terms of operating on your desktop, because you've got to log in and download things and
also, I don't like things autonomously downloading or uploading from my computer. I want to be able to control those things.
Yeah.
So that's why I just use the Dropbox interface. I've used Google Chrome. I also like the fact that, if you use the Dropbox app, you are throttled to so much bandwidth, whereas I can have multiple Google Chrome windows open, and then I have more bandwidth that I can allocate to it.
That's a really important point for sure.
So, and I mean, just yesterday we uploaded, what was it, John? Like 60 gigs of stuff in about 30 minutes, 40 minutes?
It was closer, actually, 45.
45 gigs, 40 minutes.
That's pretty intense. So the bottom line is that Dropbox has been working really well for us.
It's been, I wouldn't say it's been working really well. I would say that it's been the solution that's been working.
Well, we've been using it
consistently.
It's been consistent. It's been reliable. We've used it for a while now. It's relatively easy to use, and so I don't think we've had any huge uploading issues with Dropbox.
Correct.
So it sounds like all of this really comes down to bandwidth.
Yeah.
And what your internet is.
Totally.
So, I mean, I think that's where Todd is evaluating that even more than what he's using.
Very true. Very true. Gosh, Dropbox, one of these things. This is a very interesting realm, and it's a realm that's changing, I think, a little bit more than drone technology. We had the opportunity to work with a new company called Link, and Link is a 2 terabyte SSD drive that's wireless, waterproof, crush-proof. So I liked it because you can take. When I'm on a boat, I've got 5-6 cameras going. When I use that drive, all 6 cameras are autonomously uploading their data onto
incredible.
the drive.
Yeah.
So
it's not going to be cheap, but it sounds like it's going to be very worth it.
well, I mean, you think about the time saved, it's
Right.
hours on every single, trip that you
Sure.
go on. So I also like that though, because I can use that same device, throw it here in the studio, be at my office, upload things wirelessly to that device, and then John can wirelessly download them from
Sure.
that device. And the speed is not throttled by your internet capability. It is throttled by your distance to the device itself.
Right.
So you can get some really fast stuff. Again, that's Link that makes that device. It's a wireless SSD. I love it. I've only had very brief dealings with it. We're supposed to get one here at Drone U to test this quarter. I do recommend it. It is about $1,500 though. But again, you got to think about opportunity costs. You got to think about long term. If I'm using this all the time, how much time am I going to save?
Right. Yeah. I mean, obviously, you're just going to have to assess whether your
Well, I mean,
activity
Okay,
warrants that.
Excuse me, I almost spit on you. Or may have.
No, thank you for not.
That being said, let's look at these two things, right? If I go on a shoot and I've got 5 cameras, and I get off the boat and I go to my trailer and I single-handedly pull all 5 cards out. I look through all the footage. I organize that footage based on which camera. Now imagine that I went on the boat and I already set up the devices to link with the SSD, and the camera name is the folder under the project name. And now, before I even left the boat, all that work is done.
Amazing. I mean, you're still going to have to sift through
Well, yeah, you definitely
the
want to
footage.
go through and timestamp your footage to tell editors like, oh, I like this second through this second. Because remember, too, this is a big mistake that a lot of Hollywood producers make with drone pilots. Drone pilots have a vast imagination with cinematography, and a lot of producers and directors really see shots linearly. And if you go through your footage, which I did on a television show I worked on last year, I said, well, I know you used second 17 through 21, but why not use second 35 through 47 and speed ramp it to fit in the same time? I think you'll be much happier with the story that they told. And they actually inputted that in the TV show, and we'll see
That's
that
cool.
in September. So
Sweet.
Yeah, very excited about
Looking
that.
forward to that.
So anyway, when you are talking with your editor, make sure that you timestamp your footage and organize it. It will save you headaches on headaches on headaches.
Absolutely. That's something that we learned a little bit the hard way,
Hard way.
where we just kind of...
Hard knock life of learning.
That's right. And, a lot of lessons are learned
That's
that
true.
way. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you can avoid it, we're trying to help you avoid that. There you go.
Definitely, guys. Well, if you have a question, go to Ask Drone U and upload that question. Again, love seeing your pictures on Instagram, so tag us at the Drone U. I'd love to share them. I mean, I saw one yesterday that was on Facebook, and the guy didn't use Instagram. And I said, well, prepare, because you're probably going to get 100 followers out of this. So,
Cool.
Anyway,
We love
lots
that.
of cool stuff. Love showing it off. And love seeing what you guys have out there. So that's going to do it for us today. My name is Paul,
And I'm Rob.
and this is Ask Drone U.
We believe that videos, images, words, and sounds have the absolute power to inform, inspire, and entertain. We are united under the virtues of safety and knowledge. We are a training community of learners and teachers who encourage and energize each other to achieve greatness. We are pilots, videographers, photographers, freelancers, business owners, enthusiasts, experts, and apprentices. We are creators. We are the Drone U.